Two MPs are under a lot of fire for their plans to speak at an event this evening calling for the release of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou. The event says Meng was unjustly incarcerated by the Trudeau government at the request of the Trump administration. It's called Free Meng. The page doesn't even mention the fact that Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig, two Canadians, have been imprisoned by the Chinese government for over 700 days in retaliation for that. Green Party MP Paul Manley and NDP MP Nikki Ashton are slated to speak along with some others. Why are they doing it? Well, let's find out. Joining me now is Mr. Manley. Paul Manley, thanks so much for being here again. A lot of MPs and many people see this event, it's called Free Meng, as being a Chinese propaganda event and that you're being used as a prop by participating in this event. In other words, giving legitimacy to what many believe is China's hostage diplomacy. Why are you participating?
Well, I'm participating in a discussion and a debate. I was invited by the Canadian Foreign Policy Institute to take part in this event. I'm not happy with the name of the event or the description of it, and that actually led me to be hesitant to be involved. But I think it's important to be involved in discussions and debate and talk about these issues. My key concern is the release of Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig. They are detained in China, and we need to end this hostage diplomacy that's been going on with China. Canada.
But how do you end it? But the concern is, if you free Meng Wanzhou, you're not ending hostage diplomacy. You're literally giving it legitimacy that China says, oh, you're going to arrest her on an extradition charge from the United States. We're going to pluck two Canadians off the street. Well, she's in a mansion in Vancouver. They're going to be in a prison with no reading glasses. And now by releasing her, we essentially say to China, it works.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, China is a bully in this situation, and anybody who's paid attention to what I say in the House of Commons will know that I am not a go easy on China kind of guy. You know, I've been strong on human rights for the Uyghurs, for the pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong. I'm, going after the Canada-China FIPA agreement for a long time now. I'm concerned about the surveillance state. I voted with the Conservatives about, the Huawei decision, whether, getting that moving. So, Canada can't unilaterally release Meng Wanzhou. It's part of our extradition process and our extradition treaty, and we need to respect that treaty. What we have asked for, and the Green Party caucus put out a statement back in July saying that we want the government to demand that the United States drop the charges against Meng. This is based on sanctions that were unilaterally imposed by the Trump administration in a dangerous and bellicose manner. He wants to undo what President Obama had done with the Iran nuclear deal, which was signed onto by China and Russia and the UK and Germany and France.
Okay.
He's being unilateral, and he's created this sanctions regime that the European Union doesn't recognize those sanctions, and they have instructed their citizens and their corporations not to recognize those sanctions. Canada does not have sanctions.
But hang on. I understand that. And look, has Donald Trump politicized the Meng Wanzhou? Yes, he has. I appreciate that. But let's just get the facts here, because this seems like 9 degrees of separation. Meng Wanzhou is being charged with fraud. In other words, for defrauding a bank in order to get financing that may have violated that Iran deal. A BC Supreme Court justice named Heather Holmes has upheld the legitimacy of the charges and the extradition treaty. In other words, that the charges against her in the U.S. would also be considered a crime here. My point is, I get that you're upset at Donald Trump over pulling out of that Iran deal, but you're pretty far afield to try to get that. You're now, as an MP, sitting on that at an event that says Free Meng, that the Chinese are supporting, and clearly they don't see the nuances you're talking about. Sir, aren't you worried, like many say, that they just don't care about all that, that they're using you as a tool in their propaganda? That's why they call it Free Meng. It's propaganda, and that you're being used by the Chinese government to help their cause while the two Michaels are rotting in a prison.
Well, look, these fraud charges are 1 degree of separation away from the sanctions. The fraud charges are directly related to the sanctions. So this is, it's about unilateralism. It's about breaking multilateral agreements. So that's key to this whole situation. If the Chinese government wants to record what I have to say about them and talk about, I'm going to mention the situation for the Uyghurs and the situation for Hong Kong democracy activists, then, they're free to use that information. I've been hammering away at the Canada-China FIPA for a long time. It's a lopsided agreement, that is anti-democratic and gives the Chinese Communist Party and their state-owned corporations a heck of a lot of power over our resources. So they can pretend that they're using me as a pawn, but that is the farthest thing from the truth. I'm going to engage in debate.
Well, we'll see. I appreciate that. I think in the propaganda war, they may consider you being on the event a win, but I look forward to seeing your comments. And unfortunately, I got to leave it there, but I know you've got to get to that event, and I appreciate it, Mr. Manley, Paul Manley from the Green Party, talking about that event.